Johnny Crawford was born John Ernest Crawford on March 26, 1946 in Los Angeles, California, into a family already familiar with the rhythms of the entertainment industry. His parents, Betty and Robert Lawrence Crawford Sr., encouraged creativity from an early age, creating a supportive environment where artistic curiosity was welcomed rather than discouraged. His father worked as a film editor and later became a television producer, offering Johnny early exposure to how stories were crafted behind the scenes. Growing up alongside his siblings, Corridan, Robert Jr. and Nance, Johnny experienced both family closeness and healthy competition. His brother Robert Jr. also found success as a child actor, which further normalized life in front of the camera. With a heritage that included Russian, English, German and Irish roots, Johnny grew up surrounded by a rich blend of traditions that quietly influenced his sensitivity, musical instincts, and emotional depth as a performer. Discovering stardom at a young age, Johnny's professional journey began remarkably early, setting him apart as a natural performer with quiet confidence. In 1955, he was selected as one of the original Mouseketeers on Walt Disney's The Mickey Mouse Club. Though his time on the show lasted only one season, the experience provided essential training and national exposure. Working alongside future stars introduced him to discipline, teamwork, and the demands of live television. A year later, he delivered a deeply moving performance in NBC's live teleplay, Little Boy Lost, captivating audiences with emotional maturity far beyond his years. Additional appearances on popular shows like The Lone Ranger quickly followed. These early roles established Johnny as a dependable young actor during television's golden age. More importantly, they helped shape his professionalism, allowing him to grow up learning the craft rather than chasing fame for its own sake. Building a versatile acting career. As the late 1950s unfolded, Johnny Crawford became a familiar face on American television, admired for his versatility and sincerity. He appeared in a wide range of productions, including The Loretta Young Show, Mr. Adams and Eve, Whirlybirds, and Sheriff of Cochise. Each role allowed him to explore different emotional tones, from light-hearted comedy to serious drama. Unlike many child actors of the era, Johnny transitioned smoothly between genres, earning respect from directors and fellow performers alike. His calm presence and strong work ethic made him a favorite on set. Rather than being typecast, he demonstrated an ability to adapt and mature with each performance. These formative years were crucial not just for building his resume, but for developing the emotional intelligence that later made his most famous role feel so genuine and unforgettable to generations of viewers. Music, teen idol fame, and cultural impact. Alongside acting, Johnny Crawford found tremendous success in music, becoming a beloved teen idol in the early 1960s. His gentle voice and approachable charm resonated with young audiences during a time when innocence and romance dominated pop culture. In 1962, his hit single Cindy's Birthday reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100, firmly establishing him as a pop star. Other successful releases followed, including Rumors and Proud, each reflecting the youthful optimism of the era. Johnny frequently appeared on music variety shows and toured, balancing recording sessions with acting commitments. Unlike many teen idols, he approached fame with humility, never losing his sense of self. Music gave him a second creative outlet, allowing emotional expression beyond scripted roles. It also broadened his connection with fans who admired him not just as an actor, but as a sincere artist. Film roles and a pause for service. As Johnny matured, he expanded into film, taking on roles that reflected growing depth and ambition. He appeared in projects like Indian Paint and The Restless Ones, showing a willingness to explore meaningful and sometimes challenging subject matter. In 1967, he had a small but notable role in Howard Hawks' Western classic El Dorado, sharing the screen with John Wayne and Robert Mitchum. Soon after, Johnny's career paused when he was drafted into the United States Army. Rather than stepping away from creativity entirely, he contributed behind the scenes, working on military training films as a coordinator and assistant director. He rose to the rank of sergeant and was honorably discharged in December 1967. This period provided structure and perspective, allowing Johnny to return to civilian life, grounded, disciplined, and emotionally mature. Returning to television and meaningful projects after completing military service, Johnny Crawford returned to acting with renewed focus and purpose. He appeared in shows like Hawaii Five-0 and later participated in the Oscar-winning short film The Resurrection of Bronco Billy, produced by his close friend John Longenecker. The project reflected Johnny's continued love for storytelling, even outside mainstream Hollywood. He also took creative risks, starring in unconventional films such as The Naked Ape, which explored social themes in bold ways. Guest appearances on beloved series like Little House on the Prairie introduced him to a new generation of viewers. Rather than chasing fame, Johnny chose projects that intrigued him artistically. His performances during this period carried a quiet confidence, shaped by life experience rather than ambition. He proved that longevity in entertainment comes from authenticity, adaptability, and respect for the craft. The Rifleman and his bond with Chuck Connors. For fans, Johnny Crawford will always be remembered as Mark McCain on The Rifleman, where his on-screen chemistry with Chuck Connors felt deeply real. In later reflections, Johnny spoke warmly of Connors as a mentor and father figure during his teenage years. He recalled how Connors created a respectful, disciplined environment on set and treated him as an equal rather than a child. Between scenes, they rehearsed lines, shared stories, and built a bond rooted in trust. Johnny acknowledged that Connors could be intense at times, but understood it came from passion and high standards. Long after the show ended, Johnny carried deep respect for the man who helped guide him through early fame. When Connors passed away in 1992, Johnny grieved privately, honouring the relationship not with headlines, but with gratitude and lasting affection. Love, marriage, and a life. Reconnected later in life, Johnny Crawford experienced a deeply meaningful personal chapter when he reunited with Charlotte Samko, his high school sweetheart. The two had fallen in love as teenagers at Hollywood High School before life carried them in different directions. Nearly 3 decades later, they reconnected, discovering that time had only deepened their bond. Their relationship grew slowly and thoughtfully, leading to marriage in 1995. Charlotte became Johnny's anchor, offering companionship and stability far removed from the spotlight. Their love story reflected maturity, patience, and emotional grounding rather than youthful fantasy. Together, they built a life centered on mutual support and shared memories. This chapter brought Johnny peace, allowing him to focus on personal fulfillment rather than public expectations. It was a reminder that some of life's most meaningful moments arrive quietly long after applause fades. Preserving music and a gentle. Later career in the 1990s, Johnny turned toward a lifelong passion that brought him immense joy: vintage music. He founded the Johnny Crawford Orchestra, a dance band dedicated to authentically recreating music from the 1920s and 1930s. The group became highly respected, performing at prestigious events, including numerous Art Directors Guild Awards ceremonies. In 2012, the orchestra released Sweep in the Clouds Away, celebrating the elegance of the big band era. Johnny approached this chapter not as nostalgia, but as preservation of musical history. Leading the orchestra allowed him to perform without pressure, surrounded by musicians who shared his love for craftsmanship. This period reflected his true artistic heart, thoughtful, disciplined, and rooted in respect for tradition. It was not a comeback, but a continuation of a life devoted to creative expression. Final years, legacy, and lasting impact. In 2019, it was publicly shared that Johnny Crawford had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a deeply challenging condition that gradually affected his health. Surrounded by his wife Charlotte and close friends, he received care with dignity and compassion. Fellow former child actor Paul Peterson helped organize support for his medical needs, reflecting the strong community Johnny had built over decades. In 2021, Johnny passed away at the age of 75, leaving behind a legacy defined by kindness, professionalism, and quiet strength. He is remembered not only for his talent, but for the respect he showed others throughout his life. From child star to musician, from television icon to devoted husband, Johnny Crawford lived with grace. His work continues to resonate, reminding audiences that authenticity and heart never go out of style.